Long ago, in a village shrouded in darkness and veiled in mystery, lived a young woman named Alara. Shadowbrick, as the village was known, was rumored to be cursed, a place where malevolent entities lurked in the shadows, waiting to ensnare unsuspecting souls. Alara had always been drawn to the shadows, finding a strange comfort in their embrace. From a young age, she displayed an uncanny affinity for the mystical arts, a gift that both fascinated and frightened the villagers. Her parents, fearful of the darkness that seemed to surround the daughter, tried to suppress her powers, but they only grew stronger with time. One fateful night, when the moon hung low in the sky, Alara ventured into the heart of Shadowbrick, where the darkness was most potent. There, amidst the gnarled trees and eerie whispers, she encountered a group of malevolent entities known as the Umbrals. These ancient beings were creatures of darkness, drawn to the fear and despair that lingered in the village. Intrigued by Alara's innate connection to the shadows, the Umbrals approached her, offering her a forbidden and dangerous pact. They promised her great power, the ability to draw magic from the very darkness that surrounded her village. In return, she had to pledge her loyalty and serve as a conduit for their malevolence, bringing misery and suffering to those around her. The temptation was overwhelming, and Alara, yearning for a sense of control over her abilities, made a desperate decision. She forged the pact, allowing the Umbrals to channel the dark magic through her, becoming a vessel for their malevolent power. As the shadows wrapped around her, Alara felt a surge of newfound energy coursing through her veins. At first, Alara reveled in her newfound abilities. She could manipulate the shadows, bending them to her will, and cast spells that brought awe and fear to the villagers. The Umbrals delighted in the chaos she unleashed, feeding off the negative emotions that swirled around her. But as time passed, Alara's heart grew heavy with the burden of her malevolent powers. The darkness that flowed through her threatened to consume her own soul. Each act of malevolence weighed on her conscience, and she became a prisoner of the pact she had forged. The price of her power was not just her own suffering, it affected the very fabric of Shadowbrick. The village fell into perpetual gloom, its people living in constant fear and despair. Crops withered, children grew sickly, and the once vibrant community became a haunting reflection of the darkness that resided within Alara. Haunted by guilt and regret, Alara tried to break free from the Umbrals' hold, seeking a way to sever the dark pact that bound her to them. But every attempt was met with more malevolence, as the Umbrals tightened the grip on her, ensnaring her further in their web of shadows. As the years passed, Alara's beauty withered away, replaced by a haunting pallor and eyes filled with sorrow. The villagers, once fearful of her powers, now pitied her as a tragic figure trapped in the clutches of malevolence. In the dark and twisted tale of Alara, she became both a victim and a perpetrator of darkness. Her magic came at a terrible price, and she found herself torn between her desire for power and the burden of the malevolence she had unleashed upon her village. She became a cautionary tale, a tragic figure forever bound to the shadows and haunted by the choices she had made in her pursuit of power.